Hello, everyone. Today is Friday, March 4th, 2022. Nigeria stormed Ukraine embassy in Abuja, volunteered to fight Russian invasion. This article is taken from the Ghanaian newspaper My Joy. As hundreds of Nigerians in Ukraine are struggling to return home, there are reports that about 115 young men have offered to join Ukraine in its fight against Russia. According to The Guardian, in Africa's most populous country, the men who besieged the Ukraine embassy in Abuja also put down their names in a register provided by the embassy. The second secretary, Ukraine Embassy, Bohdan Sotis, confirmed the development, adding that no step had yet been taken to the effect. The volunteers may have been responding to a recent call by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, urging people around the world to join the fight. In a statement released last Sunday, the president accused the Russian army of killing civilians and praised Ukrainians for having the courage to defend themselves. He said that the assault by Russia was not just Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but also the beginning of a war against democracy and basic human rights. Zelensky had called on anyone who wished to join the defense of Ukraine, Europe, and the world to come and fight side by side with Ukrainians. This came as rights group Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, faulted the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari for its response to the evacuation of Nigerians in Ukraine. In a statement by its national coordinator, Emmanuel Owenbiko, it said, like other aspects, President Muhammadu Buhari's presidency fumbled again. This time woefully because it failed to effectively and timelessly evacuate Nigerians from Ukraine many weeks before the eventual war started, following the needless invasion of Ukraine by Russia on the illegal orders of President Vladimir Putin. And of course, my first thought was to criticize these young men for trying to support the war effort of a country that recently, that is the Ukraine, at least its authorities at the border, of being biased towards Africans and not letting them leave the country to flee the war, which they are not involved in, whereas they would let their own citizens, Ukrainian citizens, go before all Africans. That was the claim, and it was something that I covered yesterday, and it actually came out the day before yesterday. But I take this as an opportunity, and our motto on this podcast in regard to fighting the insurgency or insurgencies in Africa is recruit and deploy. In other words, as I say, we need more boots on the ground to defeat these insurgencies. And the place that stands out the most when it comes to needing more boots on the ground, I would say Somalia, but definitely Nigeria, because it's such a large country and it geographically is very challenging because it covers a lot of space. And so there are a lot of, and in rural areas where in areas where in the bush where the insurgents can hide. So naturally, this Nigeria, northern Nigeria, it needs more boots on the ground than, say, a built-up area, or even, I would think, even northeast DRC. Maybe I'm wrong, because, excuse me, you have probably a lot of places to hide there in northeastern DRC, but it seems that the area where the insurgency is smaller than that of Nigeria. You have the so-called bandits or armed gangs that are taking hostages and looting, etc. And then in the northwest, and then in the northeast, you have the insurgents like Boko Haram. And so it seems that Nigeria is challenged by having such a large area where its insurgents operate. But that's why I say that we need more boots on the ground. And, for any area where there's an insurgency, the more boots you have on the ground, the more troops, the more effective you're going to be in fighting the insurgency. Because as a retired military police, I know the importance of securing an area, especially after it's been attacked. You don't want them to come back and attack it. And so you need to leave your troops there, or at least nearby, as a QRF force or whatever, quick reactionary force. And hopefully the town, they have communication with that QRF, which has communication with the local police station, etc. And but the point is, you want the more boots on the ground you have, the more effective you're going to be in fighting the insurgency. And I don't know how many of Nigeria's active duty forces are actually fighting the insurgency in the north. I mean, I really don't know. It would be nice to know that half the active duty troops, this is my opinion, half the active duty troops at any given time is fighting, and while the other half is resting, and then they rotate. But that's not the impression I get. But in this case, I think what President Buhari, the retired general, what he should do is say, invite these young men to the presidential palace and turn it into a photo op and say, why don't you fight the insurgency here? If you meet the qualifications to join the military, take the physical, we will train you, and then you can fight the insurgency here and help out your own country and save the lives of your own people, as opposed to going to some foreign country, especially one where you're treated unfairly.